Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of Busterland with me, Buster. And yes, there is an Enderman swooping around my house, but that's not the whole point of today. Today we have, well, quite a bit to do actually, so I think we probably best get on with it. I have been doing a little bit of stockpiling on some things, i.e. some iron. I found myself a little peaks biome, and I gathered as much as I could do, and that's the same with coal and a few other things as well. So let's take you through a few adjustments. Here you can see I have begun to make this a little bit more automated in some ways. The stuff goes into the top section here, it filters through here, straight into here, and then down here, and then into here. How many times can I say here? And then of course I've got this, which is where I'm going to be lining up additional fuel for it to go into the furnaces as well. This Enderman is just gonna keep bugging me. Excuse me for just one moment. There we go, problem solved. You may also be wondering, why do I look very shiny? Well, I did some diamond hunting as well. I got myself a little setup here and quite a few diamonds to boot. I still have 7 left. And I've managed to make myself pretty much entire diamond set down here. Not enough for armor yet, but we're getting there. It is just all going off today. That was anyway, moving on. So what have I got planned for today then? Well, let's just go and take a look at the board, shall we? Yes, it is looking very different out here. Very different indeed. In fact, in that box there, you will find all of the villages that were left in this town. I've just decided to kind of take everything away and just put them in one place for the time being. That's because I do have to make the village breeder, and I've also got to make different stations for all of our villagers. I'm not going for a trading call this time, that was far too much work. But if we look at our ugly board, I have got quite a bit that needs to be getting on with, that's for sure. But I think the first thing that I need to do is the windmill. We was going to do it in the last episode. I kind of had a building problem and made a huge mistake and didn't like where I was going with it, and so decided not to. And I've come up with a new design, one that I think you'll all like. It is in keeping with this theme here, with the red roofs and the very medieval style sort of build. Lots of wood, lots of changes. Oh, and I've also put in these as well. So I've updated the paths just a little bit to include this, which is basically, I'm having one of those days, I'm forgetting what it's called. Glazed terracotta. So I've put some glazed terracotta in here, brown ones. This is the... I'm still having troubles with words. This one is rooted dirt, and so I've managed to start getting a few of those in there, but you do need silk touch for rooted dirt, or I think you need silk touch. I can't really remember how I got it. I think I got it with a silk touch axe. So, you know, that's how it is. I don't know if I'm right. Let me know in the comments below. And just a little bit more collection all around has been done. I've also managed to make myself a little armor stand booklet, and I've just been messing around with my armor stands just over here, just to change them a little bit so that then they look a bit different. I wanted to do this last time round. I made the mistake of not adding the armor stand mod in before I got started. Yeah, don't ever do that again. Just, you know, put the mods in you want first and then make a world around it. We have a few more heads as well. This is the panda head, the elusive panda head. We've also got here a gravel mite? What's it called? It's one of those things that comes out of stone and it really gets on your nerves. Silverfish? Yeah, silverfish. There we go, silverfish. We also finally have a sheep head, and I've also got a spider head as well. So the head collection is growing, that's for sure. However, we need to get on with building, and I need to start getting this windmill all sorted. It's going to be a pretty simple build, to be honest with you, and I think that there's nothing to it but to get on with it. But before we do that, before I go any step further, I need you to do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button, because without subscribers, I won't have subscribers. So just do it. You know you want to. Hit the button down below. It is time for me to get building, and if you're ready, then let's jump straight into it. A 1, a 2, a windmill. And it's done. The windmill is complete. I love it. I think it looks so cool. We've still got the red roof, which basically matches this one up here. Just a bit of a difference in that I've used the actual wood textures this time round and a few trapdoors, just to make it sort of stand out a little bit. There's also a big difference in the sense that this is brickwork rather than it just being the snow that we used here. And I've also got lighter coloured wood textures and probably a more heavier sort of base of the wood frame itself rather than it being this. There is more of a pattern in this one than there is in this one. This one I just sort of threw up and tried to make look symmetrical. This one I took a bit of time to actually think about before I started trying to build it. I kept the roof red because I just want everything to kind of sync up in this world. Like I was saying, in Genshin Impact, in Mondstadt, everything has a red roof to it. And I don't really want that to be the same here, but I do think that for the first few builds, we kind of have to have some sort of similarity to them. Otherwise it's just going to look too different. Now, it will get pretty old pretty quick still building in this sort of medieval style, but at the same time I am quite liking it for the moment. I think that this entire town could be medieval. We could then branch off the further out we get into different sort of styles. I don't know. There is so much to say, there's so much to do in this place that I'm not really too bothered about it being samey, just in this area. As we go around, I've decorated it with glowberries, with vines, of course, because there's vines on this one over here. I even put some calcite into the actual mill, so it's not all just one texture of the white wool. And as we go into here, you would be expecting this to be taller, but I have sort of blocked the roof up, as you can see. So what I'm thinking of doing is just decorating this entire section here and building it up and up and up, obviously into the next bit. So putting in a giant unit, because obviously if you've ever been in a real world mill, these up here are powered by a rotating column, which basically sits in the central part of the mill. So I'm thinking that where this bit is, a central beam would come all the way around. We would have things like obviously chests and storage units in this section here, and then obviously a stairwell around the rotating beam to go all the way up to the top. And this is effectively going to be the place that I will be storing all my wheat and all my seeds. I have not decorated this though because I think that that would be something for a later date. I'm not saying that I don't have the time or patience, but when you sort of build a giant structure, or at least build this style of structure, doing the inside as well, it's just a lot of work. However, let's take a look in the free cam mode, shall we? I think you get a bit more detail that way. So if we look about the lands, you can see that all of this wheat field obviously encircles the entirety that is this windmill. It is a little bit off kilter. By that I mean that I still want this bit, which is very much a straight line, which I don't like, to curve a little bit more and go around a little bit more, so to create more of a sort of boundary edge going this way. And of course I need a pathway which is going to lead up to this thing as well. If we take a look at it from here, it's off center, which I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be right next to this one or lie directly in the middle of a giant field. That's not really how things look. But what I am thinking is that we can effectively create a path which leads all the way round and sort of spans round to this bit here. I do want to keep it this wide, and I do want to sort of track up and around there. What I also want to do is to create a borderline which runs all the way around the entirety of the wheat fields. And again, I'm thinking of doing this with things like cobblestone, fencing, anything that's just going to kind of keep this in that sort of old-timey fieldy sort of vibe. I do think that that needs to be done now. If there's one thing that I really want to get sorted, is to start building up a little bit more of a story in this place and start building up pathways. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is to knock out this entire section and then run a pathway up to there. I do have quite a bit of these bricks. I don't think it's going to be enough, but let's have a look. Just off camera, I've been messing around making some more. I've got 3 full stacks, 1 almost full stack, and then 2 which haven't even been shifted around. And then I've also got about 2 stacks of coarse dirt as well. How much of the glazed terracotta do I have? Okay, and I've got 3 stacks of glazed terracotta, but this is just more of a sprinkling. I don't really want this to be such a big thing that it gets added in every single like brick or every other brick. That's just going to look too much. But one thing that we can do right now, I think, is just knock this off because the windmill has been completed. There we go. We won't be replacing this just yet. I think that there is enough things here to get us going. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is to knock out some of this wheat. Let's do it together, shall we? So starting off here, I'm thinking probably want this to sort of curve naturally. So if I run across, okay, a little bit like this, because I do think that it would be useful to have space. I don't necessarily want to put up like railing across this section here. I think that would be too much, but I do want to put in lights. So I do want to put in like lamp lights across this section as well. So the lamp light, which is over there, which I've been messing around with, and also just a quick one, just getting off topic completely. Do not ever, if you are going to make this style of lamp structure, put up a lightning rod next to all the wood, because the wood will catch fire and it will burn. Now, you might be saying to yourself, duh, I didn't know. So, yeah, so there's that. But away from my tomfoolery and back onto this section here, I want to remove quite a bit of this dirt, and that's because it is going to be being replaced by the actual brickwork. Let me just put the brickwork away for the starters, because my inventory is going to get super full as well. Okay, that's that section knocked out. Now, I am using the free cam mode a lot this season. I keep saying season. I really don't know if it is a season. There I am, just staring off into nothing. Now, I want to try and get this a little bit more sort of like curved, I think, but I'm not 100% sure because it's gonna have to go up into this section up here anyway. So I'm thinking I could probably take this a bit further from here, a bit further round, and then sort of up a little bit more. I kind of want to avoid using straight and narrow lines as much, just because it doesn't really feel real when you do that. It kind of feels a little bit more fake. So I'm thinking that probably the best thing to do, just gonna knock this bit out. These will be replaced by bricks once I get there. I just don't want to really remove the water sources because I do want this field to be hydrated. Again, not that I'm planning on harvesting this all the time, but it's useful to have. Alright, let's start placing bricks and let's see where it gets us. That is as much as the path as what we can do done. Now, I think again, if we go into F4 mode, you can see it winds around this section here, it starts to build up, and then it'll go into a straight line straight into this section here. And I just need to widen this section out, finish this bit off, and also just add in or make it just a little bit more wider. You can see where it's starting to go quite thin here, and again it's because I'm running out of materials or because I'm just not able to shape it up. Now, in terms of wheat loss, it's really not that much. In fact, when I start to curve around this section here, we'll just gain it all back, so I'm really not that worried about it. And besides, this giant wheat field originally is for me to make these bricks anyway, so, you know, can't have one without the other. But I'm liking where this is going, I'm liking where it's taking us. What I do want, though, is lights. I need some lighting set up immediately in and around these lands. Literally, it turns to nighttime and everything comes out of the woodwork. Creepers, zombies, skeletons, you name it, they are pretty much here. So I need to make sure that that stops. And how do we do that? With some expertly crafted lamps, of course. Street lamps, these ones. These ones, if they weren't struck by lightning and set on fire. Don't judge, okay? This is basically the units that I will be using. This is effectively going to be the style that I'm after creating. So it plays off of what we had last time round. Basically, we've got a wooden block at the bottom, trapdoors that surround it, some fences which extend all the way up, and then we've also got these which are just signposts. Around the top bit, we have more trapdoors which just extend further across, then some stairs above those. And then finally 2 blocks, so you can see up there, you've got one there, and then another one just below it as well. And this is glazed terracotta. Some more of the fence gates which come across, and then of course lanterns as well. Now, originally I did have this placed so that then you could see there were stairs above here, and then of course there was a lantern as well. Not lantern. This lightning rod, and originally it was just supposed to, you know, sort of feed off of the fact that if lightning did strike, it wouldn't set anything on fire because it would just hit this. Turns out apparently that's not the case. When lightning strikes, it will set anything ablaze near there. So yeah, it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Oh well, never mind. However, I want to get some of these lights done en masse. Basically, I want to place one here, one here, one here, one here, one here. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that right now. But you get the picture. I want to place them basically in any area that you can see I am going to be walking constantly. There needs to be a lamppost. So I think there's nothing for it. We're going to jump into a little mini time lapse of me skirting around these lands. I won't be long. I think a couple of minutes. No, not even a couple of minutes. Hopefully a few seconds. Who knows? I'll be right back. Welcome back from the time lapse. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, I have done all of these lamps and lights. They're all pretty much all set up now, then going right the way over there. Now, I do want to kind of fill out more of this landscape with them, but that's kind of going to come with time once I've actually, you know, built some more stuff. And speaking of building more stuff, there is something else that I want to get started with today because it's going to be essential. And I have marked it out here in white wool so then you know just how big this is actually going to be. It's going to take quite a bit of space, but it's an essential build for my kingdom. And one quick change later, and I have now got on my business suit. Because I think you all know what a suit means whenever one starts building in Minecraft, at least. Redstone. Look, I am not saying that I am Mumbo Jumbo Reborn because that would be a big insult to Mumbo, but I'm gonna give it my best. I think what you are probably guessing from the contents that was inside that chest is an automatic mud farm because I hate having to do it all manually myself. Literally, it's a pain. You have to put basically blocks of dirt out and then grab a water bottle and tip it on there, and then you've got to dig it all up. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, let me tell you that. However, I have been scouring the interwebs to try and find a solution to this because I'm not smart enough to do it myself. But I have found a video which has helped out a lot when trying to figure out how to make something automatic at least. This is the simple mud farm setup and it's by ilmango. The link will be in the description. I'm also going to put a title card which is going to be appearing on screen now. Maybe? Question mark? If I've not done it, please let me know in the comments. But it's basically a simple farm that you have to do manually, sure, but at the same time, it's automatic nonetheless. And it's going to go in basically in this section here. Now, I haven't decided how I want the building to look, how I want this whole thing to be sort of covered over. I'm more interested in getting the whole redstone thing down first. So I think without further ado, let's get into it. Redstone is not my forte, but I'm going to try and take you through step by step and also try and explain it a little bit from what my limited knowledge is. So first things first, to make something that basically repeats on this, we kind of have to start with the collection system. So what collects it? So we'll put down a chest here, And then we just need something that's going to block this out. So we'll put down this, a glass block, which still allows it to open because technically glass blocks are translucent, as in, yes, you can see through them, but also they don't impede anything else, from what I understand. We need hopper to go straight into there as well, and obviously this will feed into the chest. So if I throw something in there, let me try that again. Let me try that again. Okay, take my word for it, because this is just not working out the way I wanted it to. So onto this section here goes another glass block here, and then here, so facing into, you want to put a repeater, and what repeaters do is they repeat a redstone signal. So we'll get into more of that later on. But then the next thing that you want to add into there is something to power the repeater, a redstone torch. Redstone torch is on. This is going to emit a power sequence straight into here, which is going to go into the hopper, which is going to go into the chest. Into the back section here, we're going to place another glass block. And then facing into, oh no, I'm already getting it wrong. So it's into this section here. We're going to place another glass block, and that's because you want another repeater to go here, facing directly into this one. Now, you need something to power this, because this is only powering this one here, so you need something which is basically going to help with that. So, we're going to place, I think, this, which is the wool block, here. Let me get rid of these. There, and you can see that the lights come on. So this now is basically a double repeater. So it repeats there, repeats there. And now it is dispenser time. So to add the dispenser, you want to place it basically where you've put this wool block here. So it's going to sit right there, right above the top there. So whatever dispenses from here is basically going to be coming above this section here. For example, if you've got a dispenser which is filled with water bottles and then you basically put dirt down there, you hear the tick, it's going to dispense the water bottle straight into here and then change this into mud, which then means that you can harvest the mud, it's going to drop straight into here. Simple as that. Now we just need to set up something where it's effectively going to feed the water itself. So once, basically this will be filled with full water bottles, but then it's going to need somewhere to pop out from, refill, and then fill back into this unit here. So you need another dispenser unit, which I'm going to place this here, and then place the dispenser there. So in order to get this to dispense this empty bottle, because what it'll do is it will dispense a full bottle onto the mud block, and then it's going to want to spit the empty bottle straight back out if a new full bottle is going to be going into here. You can direct it into this one. So anything which is in here which is empty will be shot out into here. So this will be basically filled with empty water bottles. And that goes exactly the same for the hopper as well. This also will be filled with empty glass bottles. I just need to go and grab some more glass bottles. One moment. There we go. All filled up. Hopefully this is making sense, because I'm getting a bit confused myself, but we'll carry on. So now we need something which is basically going to hold the water in place. Obviously for this to fill up all of these empty water bottles. It is relatively simple to do. All you effectively need is for something to stop the water from getting out. So I'm just going to place that there, and then we're going to place that there like so. You can neaten this up if you want to. If I say, for example, just take that out, and just make it a little bit more sort of nicer, like this, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's whatever way that you can get it to effectively stop itself from running out. Now, the next one is going to be, how do you stop water from coming out this side? You can just use glass blocks if you want to, but to make this a little bit more compact and to stop everything from being so bulky, you can also use trapdoors. Trapdoors are wonderful because the water will not jump out from here. So in order for this to feed effectively into this hopper here. So this one will spit out an empty water bottle, it will fill with water, and then it will come through into this one here and dispense a full bottle. It has to be tall enough in order to do that. So this is 3 blocks high. I'm also going to place down another trapdoor and then another trapdoor as well. See what I mean? So you basically just have 3 units trapdoors here, and yeah, we're ready to go. So the water will feed across into this section here. You're going to want to place a hopper feeding into this one. So effectively the water's going to come up and over, drop into here, and then feed straight into there. So in order to stop the glass bottles from basically flinging themselves straight out of the out of the machine, you do kind of want to just block it off ever so slightly. You don't want to cover this bit here. I mean, I know it's a glass bottle, glass panes are translucent, but it will stop them from getting in. There still has to be an item hold in order for you to do that. But you do want to stop them from going any further. So just placing a glass block just there is probably the better thing to do. And I would probably say placing a glass block just there as well is also a good thing to do, because when you are sitting at this machine and obviously go over there, you basically want to be able to have something in your offhand, so the dirt in your offhand, and then you would just basically keep doing that, if you can see what I mean. Into here now, we have to go in with water source units, and they have to be water sources, so you can't really have flowing water at this stage. Good thing I have a bucket here, and good thing I've placed this right next to the water as well, because otherwise that would be an absolute nightmare. So first one down. Okay, and so the water now flows directly into here. We've waterlogged this trapdoor here, and it's just flowing into this bit. So to recap, what effectively happens here is this section, the dispenser, is completely empty. It has nothing in there at all. And then what happens, oh, hold on. What happens is this dispenser has all the glass bottles in it. This dispenser, when this goes off, dispenses a glass bottle, which fires it up the water unit here, straight down into this hopper, into here. And then this shoots out the water, drops the empty bottle into here, back into the dispenser. So it is effectively always going like this. This is your collection system, and this here is your storage system. Now, if you want to be standing at this thing sort of almost like AFK auto-clicking, if you will, you do need something which is going to be dispensing all of the dirt to you. For example, if you place all the dirt in here, you want this to be constantly dispensing whilst you are ticking away at this automatically. We place a hopper into there, and what this will do is just means that you can have a double chest if you choose to, just on this section. Let me remove this dirt. If you don't have a chest, you can just use a barrel. I don't know what happened. I had 7 chests on me and they've disappeared. So just the randomness of Minecraft sometimes just makes things happen. I don't know. So the final thing to do to actually get this whole thing active is to place one piece of redstone on here. There we go. And you can right click it again, and this means that this bit here will not be hopper locked. This is done. It is that simple, to be honest with you. What I now want to do is just give it a bit of a test drive. Let's just see how this whole thing is going to go. I'm excited. I'm also unbelievably nervous because something tells me that I may have done something wrong, but let's just find out and see. So what happens is, do you see how it's got the 2 dispensers in there and then one there? It takes a little while just for this to start to fill up. I might need something a little bit more sturdy on top. Okay, I'm thinking wool, because wool just, yeah, there's no need to worry when it comes to wool. Okay, there we go. Right, I don't want to make a mess of everything. Let's just try this again. Okay, it takes a little while just to sort of get into the rhythm of it. You can see up here that I have not finished this whole thing off completely. Let me just grab some more glass from here. And the reason why is if you do not section off the top part of this build, i.e. if you don't put glass where you need to, can you see, it's just literally going to fling up over the top. So a few glass blocks just on top of here, and that should work. And literally just doing that for a few minutes, I've already come out with 3 stacks, which is already probably about 1,000 times faster than the way that I was doing it before. So I would call this a success. What this does mean, however, is now that I have a redstone building which is completely uncovered out in the middle of nowhere, looking very ugly. I haven't got a clue what I'm going to turn this into. A part of me wanted to try and be clever and be like, I'm going to make this a mud hut. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Part of me kind of wants to either go with something like brown top roof, brown bricks, you know, try and sort of encapsulate the whole brown feel because, you know, this is a mud house. And then part of me is like, I really want to try and make it look something similar to these style builds and incorporate it into the feel of like my sort of red roof aesthetic, but I don't really want to do another red roof, you know, I kind of want to change it up. I don't know, I'm having a lot of thoughts, I'm having a lot of feelings, I don't really know what to do, but you know, I'm sure you guys could give me some ideas, just let me know. Comment below. But as we take another look here, I could, well, I can officially say that technically we do have a packed mud generator. So that is another one from the board, completely done. Now, I guess in terms of it being done, it's not, so I think we should add a caveat to this one. Mud house. There we go. Now we just have to create something which looks mud housey. If that's even a word, I don't really know. But that is literally all I have time for today. We've done quite a lot, to be honest with you. I am going to sign off in my suit because, you know, once you're in a suit, getting out of the suit is a pain, and then, you know, I've got to change up again and stuff, and I don't really do that until later on tonight when I feel more comfortable. But as it stands now, we have got a lot going. The story of this world is beginning to take shape. And I love it. It looks so cool. We've got our lamps, we've got our windmill, we've got our wheat fields, our mega home, a generator just out in the middle of nowhere doing nothing. Yes, everything that a world needs. I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. If you have liked what you've seen here today, please like this video. Hit the like button. It really does help me out a lot. I can only see my eyes whenever I zoom in with this now. This suit, these glasses are huge. Also, why don't you leave a comment on this video as well? Let me know what you want to see next. Let me know how excited you are. Have I done really well? Am I a great builder? Am I going to be the next Mumbo Jumbo? Who knows? Only you can decide. But for now, I think that is it from me. I will be back again next week with some more Busterland and potentially a transformation video. I don't know. We're currently in the process of doing it. Don't judge me. But until that time, you guys, I have been Buster UV. This is Busterland, and I will see you all again and next time.